up, y'all? We back for another episode. This is episode 3. I am Alexis Peterson. This is my co-host, Asia Shepherd, and this is Off the Court.
On the record.
Let's go. Let's get
Let's
into it.
get it.
So today's episode is about burnout, and we want to talk a little bit about the burnout of constantly getting no's, fighting for your money, changing teams mid-season, and what that can kind of do to you and the wear and tear that can have on the mental. So let's get right into it. Talk to me a little bit about what you've experienced about changing teams, fighting for money, and constantly getting no's. What does that feel like?
It's defeating for sure. But I've learned that I just gotta pick up the pieces and keep going. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares. Work harder. So that's just what it is. But I mean, every athlete is gonna experience way more no's than they are yeses. And you just have to be prepared for when that yes does come.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for myself, just to talk about like getting no's, no's kind of fuel me in a way that I can't even explain. Like they really fuel that dog inside of me. They kind of make me feel disrespected in a way. It makes me hungrier. It makes me grind harder. And it makes me want to violate everybody that they put in front of me. Everybody that they feel like is better than me in my position is going to get this work when they step in front of me. And that's what that kind of does to me. But also on the tail end of that is kind of fighting for, what you feel like you deserve and the burnout that can come from that. So talk a little bit about that. Like when you know you deserve something, when you feel like you've worked and you've grinded and you've put your time in, and just talk about a little bit of how that burnout can affect you when you feel like you've done all you can do.
Yeah, I mean, it affects me to the point where it's like, I've asked myself a few times, is this really what you want to do? Because it's just time after time after time. You just feel like you said, just disrespected. You know what the product that you produce, you know that you are better than certain people that they just want to keep saying that you're not. And you know what's really going on in the background. You know it's politics. You know it's stuff that you can't control. But at the end of the day, it's like, why can't we just see what it is and measure basketball to basketball, and it's in black and white. I'm better than this person. Why am I not getting these opportunities? And it's super super frustrating. But I've learned that it just comes with the territory, and that I'm one of God's favorites,
Okay.
and I'm not going through this for no reason. And when I do hear that yes, when I do get back in the dub, when I'm in the position that I know I need to be in, ain't nobody gonna be able to do nothing with me.
Period. Okay. Straight like that. Like they're and period.
Because what are we talking about? You're
What
not.
about you? You're not. Like, cool. Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, just to kind of touch on what you said, like, I've also questioned many a times, like, am I chasing the wrong thing? Am I on the wrong path? Like, is this my will for myself or am I in alignment with God's will for me? Because
Mm,
I feel like it shouldn't be this hard. Like I've had so many times where I'm like, well, Lord, what is it? What more? And I've literally broken down in tears. I've cried to my fiance where I'm like, what more do I need to do to prove myself?
mhm,
I feel like I've done all I can do. Um, but that's not the end of the story. And I still have that hunger. I still have that fire. And then you get that reassurance from God, like, I didn't say that it would be easy, but I said it would be worth it. And the path that I've created for you is not the path that I've given to them. So, I've given you this path because I know that you can handle it because I've called
mhm.
you to something different. I've crafted you for your calling. You were created for a purpose. So, I think that's something that I have to sometimes sit down, humble myself, and remind myself of is that like I know it's not easy. It's never been easy for me. I've been an underdog all my life, but I know that God has a plan for my life. I know I'm walking in purpose, and whenever it's time to redirect and realign, I will be willing to lay down my sword and change directions.
Facts, facts. I mean, I got it tatted on me. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you. Like, I know that I'm on the path that God has called me to be on, because every time I get to that, place of resistance,
Yeah.
I'm able to see myself go past it, and then he elevates me. Every time I'm in a space where I'm feeling the resistance, I know that I'm right where I'm supposed to be, because God is putting me in this little cocoon so that I can come out the beautiful butterfly I know I am.
Black is come on. Okay, the next facet of burnout that many athletes experience, you and I have also experienced, is fighting for our money. That's a big one because don't play with my money. Period.
Ever.
Period. Like I don't need to go further, but we're gonna go further for the content of this episode.
Facts.
But talk to me a little bit about, your experience with fighting for your money and what that does to your mental.
Yeah, I just finished year three. I've never been in a situation to where I've been in a long season for 8 months and I've gotten paid my full amount of money or on time. And it's super frustrating because we always give our work on time. We show up on time every time. We show up every day, no matter what's going on. And I feel like it's just disrespectful that we sign these contracts and that, overseas is really no rules. Like people can just do what they want to do. And there's not a lot of protection. Like, of course, we can sue, but that takes a long time. So then you're discouraged by that. And you're just out kind of just living in a space where you're not respected, even though you're doing everything that they asked you to do. And again, it's tough on your mental. Like those long days and nights where I'm just in my room and it's only me because my family is asleep. Like it's me versus me in those moments, and that's what when people say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, it's that exact piece right there. Like being in a foreign country and you're getting treated like poop and nobody cares. They're not paying you, they're not taking care of you. All of the things that they said they would do, they're not doing. And it's tough, man. Like that is the biggest piece of burnout that I've experienced that got me to this point of the summertime to be like, all right, you just need to chill. Like you've been through a lot. It's okay. Take your time. Like you don't need to be doing anything right now except, working on yourself and getting better.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's unfortunate, right? Because we're over here because we actually want to be over here. We want to play, we want to compete, but we don't play for free.
Hmm.
So when there's that kind of war between do I continue to play even though I'm not getting paid, or do I just wait on that money to come? It's strenuous on the athlete, it's strenuous on the team as a whole. It affects the camaraderie, it affects the energy in the club because listen, when I'm not getting paid and I'm not getting paid on time,
Don't talk to me. I don't want to
listen,
hear it.
I don't
I'm
I,
not here today.
I don't know y'all. I don't volunteer, so don't speak to me. You know what I mean? It challenges your character in a way that like
Woo,
nothing else can, right?
woo.
It is very unfortunate, and I myself have experienced that also this season. I talked a little bit about this last episode, but just to touch base on that again, my entire team collapsed. They were the first team to ever in the history of EuroLeague women's basketball to withdraw from the competition, and that was because
Mm,
they did not have the money whatsoever to not only play the players but to continue to compete in EuroLeague, and that is a huge embarrassment.
for
But
sure.
that was a very real situation for us. We were promised many things. We were
And a
essentially
super well known club too. Like,
exactly.
wow.
And I think that is that like tricky point in all of this is that a lot of these clubs they have these reputations, and then when you get there and you experience and you're like, hold on, y'all actually broke. Y'all should have filed for bankruptcy or just withdrew before. We could
Facts.
have avoided all this.
Yeah.
Um, But now you're here and you're affecting players' livelihoods, you're affecting players' careers, like we touched on also um, we have responsibilities back home. That doesn't stop. Like my bills, my rent, my car, my everything, my livelihood essentially does not stop operating because this team is deciding to be 20 to 25 to 30 days late or not pay at all.
Not pay at
So
all, man.
that is a very conflicting situation to be in and one that can definitely contribute to burnout.
And I know a lot of people are probably hearing you say this and wondering, like, well, why can't you just leave? I wish it was that simple. Like, imagine you putting your eggs all in one basket, which is what we essentially do when we sign a contract, right? We are like, we're going to be here for the next 8 to 10 months. That's what you plan for.
Yeah.
You don't plan on, signing something and knowing that you're going to leave. Like, that's not what we sign up for. So you get there and you see that things are changing. On the back end, you still have to show up because on the front end you still have to show up because on the back end your agent is putting feelers out and trying to see where you can go, but you can't just stop working
Right.
because then that'll affect where you're going to go. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, again, we have no protection, and when you go out in these situations you are praying and hoping that you did what you everything you needed to do to make sure that you sign in a place that's going to be healthy and you know a good place for you. And then sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, which is unfortunate.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, just speaking again from experience, I played 3 years in a row in France, the most professional country I think you can find in Europe in terms of getting paid on time. You have to pay taxes, social security, unemployment, you name it. Like you are fully covered and you get the ultimate benefit from that situation.
Yeah.
So I was very apprehensive about playing, outside of France. What is that going to look like? Because I know there's no other country that is operating like France operates. And unfortunately, I ran into my biggest fear, and I was running into a team that did not have the money, were not getting paid on time, and then to another team where I have to kind of accept being paid 15 to 20 days late. Like it's a very uncomfortable situation to be in. It definitely challenges your character, like I said, because you have to decide, is this worth it? Like, are y'all playing with me?
Hmm.
Or, because I know this isn't normal, but okay, I'm making X amount of dollars. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna just wait because I know I'm getting paid this. So when I finally do get paid, it'll be worth it. But like, who wants to struggle for their money every month? That's not something that
Exactly.
you want to go through. That's not a battle that I want to face. And on top of trying to perform and show up as my best self every night.
Mind you, they're 20 days late, so they finally do pay it. You're supposed to get your next one in 3 days. So then
Exactly.
that's going to be another 20 days late. So imagine you are in a cycle, a vicious cycle of
Hmm.
getting your money late. So then you got to make sure you stretch it out to be able to pay your bills, to be able to take care of yourself, to be able to take care of whatever else may come up in the US. And then, to make sure you got a little bit extra just in case that next payment they can't pay you at all. Like
I
it's
know.
very like ebb and flow, like,
Mhm.
and all of this again contributes to what we're talking about, burnout. Like imagine trying to do all of these things and take care of all these things on the back end, and you still have to play a basketball game for 40 minutes, and you have to produce, not for these people but for your next contract. Like it's a vicious cycle.
Absolutely. And I think one of the biggest things that can help combat burnout is community. And, we have these shared experiences. We're in the same country as other foreigners, other Americans. And that's something that we can lean on. Can you talk a little bit about like what community has meant to you being overseas, and going through some of the things that you've gone through?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me when I finally saw like how big the community is when I put out that statement. Granted, you and I had already known each other, but once I put that out, like we were able to really connect on some big things. And a lot of people reached out to me, even people who no longer play overseas and people who are in the W, they reached out, they commented, and I was able to see like we go through a lot, man. And I thought that I went through some crazy things, but I some of the stories that I heard after I made that post is like you're blessed for the things that you haven't had to go through. So Community is huge, and I'm grateful that I did put that statement out because I'm normally the type that's very to myself, very introverted. I don't really like to put my business out there, but I felt like that was something that I needed to speak up on. And the fact that I spoke up on something that happened to me and everybody kind of rallied around that, it made me feel so good. And, it made me understand that we need each other more than we think. And that's why we made this, podcast. And that's why we're continuing to, help take those steps to make sure everybody feels included.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so happy that you touched on that because that is a intricate piece of how Off the Court on the Record got started. I remember prior to you even posting that, like I was saying for the longest, I'm like, there has to be like a players union or some way that we as athletes over here can connect and collaborate and um share our experiences, let others
Yeah,
know like what it is that we go through. Maybe my situation can stop another player from going through that same situation with that club that I've already experienced that in. And I say that
exactly.
all the time. I'm like, I wish there was something like a that we can have access to that I can just tap into and I can see, okay, these are the players that have played here and this is their reviews about it and I can connect with them. Or if I'm in this country, I can connect with, say, we're both in Turkey and now I know that you're here, you're this, whatever, and I have a shoulder to lean on, you have a shoulder to lean, we can connect and we can create a relationship and build that rapport to where you don't feel alone in this country, I don't feel alone,
Yep.
and we can kind of share those experiences. And that, I think that's the beautiful thing about our platform, and we will eventually get to that where we are opening up this space for athletes alike to share their voices and share their experiences and kind of have an impact on other athletes and let them know like we all go through the same thing. We all at one point or another deal with some of the exact same things, and it is so
Mhm.
important to build community. It's so important to have that relationship while you're abroad or away from your family. Like you said, we spend more time with each other overseas than we do with our own families. So
Facts.
it's I think connection is huge.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And, I think that just women's basketball in general has more of a community piece than, now I know this might get the girlies going, but more of a community piece than on the men's side. And I think it's because of things like this. Like we go through a lot, the W is changing, it's getting better, it's getting, into a place where it's almost comparable to the NBA. Like we're getting there. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. Um, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and that's why our community is so tight knit in the way that it is. And we just want to continue to grow that through these platforms and bringing people on and just continuing to share our stories because if you don't get them out there, nobody knows, and then we don't know what changes need to be made. So I'm super grateful that we're here now and we're doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has been a beautiful thing. I can't wait for us to bring people on and get into that and broaden that discussion and just kind of continue to share. Like it's one thing for us to share our experiences, but I can't wait till we open up that network and just get to hear from other people and see how much we are really alike and the things that we've gone through, whether we played on the same team in the same countries or not. We actually live the same experiences, and that's what makes this so unique and so powerful at the same time.
Definitely, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
I know we started talking about burnout, but is there anything else that you wanted to add or, make known?
No, I just want to encourage everyone out there, all of our listeners, viewers, that burnout is normal, but you do have a community, you do have a support system, such as this, such as other resources that athletes advocate, that you can lean on, that want your voice to be heard, that have your best interests at heart. And I think that is something that is so important to myself, to you, to our brand, and what we are striving to do is just to open that network to all athletes. And you can get through burnout. Burnout is normal, as I said, but we have a community and we need to lean on our community and we need to continue to strengthen our resources in that community to help athletes all over.
Well said, Lex, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, well, this has been episode number 3. We hope y'all enjoyed. And we'll be back with some more fire content, some more guest viewers. But just stay locked in with us. This has been Off the Court on the Record, and we'll see y'all next time.
See y'all soon.